Hi, today's topic is one of my favourites, and it's called the halting problem. And the question it addresses is, if you have an arbitrary program or application with an arbitrary input or set of inputs, can you be sure by use of another application whether that will ever stop, will ever complete what it's doing, whether it'll complete the processing? And the answer is no. And that feels like a really weird thing, but it's proven. I'll talk about the church-turing hypothesis or the church-turing thesis on another video. But what it means in terms of what we're talking about and cybersecurity is that it's impossible to write a general application which can look at another application and say, you know what, I can be sure that's safe because it'll always finish what it's doing. You can't always say, I know that it'll finish in a certain amount of time or it'll finish at all, which means that there are times when you have to say, I'm just going to have to use time, a certain amount of elapsed time to decide whether or not to allow an application to continue processing. It's a really weird thing because you'd think that you could write an application and say, well, I can be sure that all of these things will always complete, they'll always finish processing, they'll finish the work that I set them to do. But you just can't. You can design sets of programs where you can prove that it'll happen, that's fine. But for general programs, you can't be certain. So that means that whenever you are designing a system and it is going to be executing a program application, a set of instructions, and you can't be sure what those are, you need to think about making sure it'll stop somehow. And that's a really important thing to understand because availability is one of the CIA triad. I'll reference that in another video I've got in the comments. But the CIA triad about availability is about making sure that systems are available. And if you have an application that isn't completing, then that is meaning that other things are not available, that resources are not available to other processes or other applications. So that's the halting problem. Fascinating thing. If you want to know more about it, you need to research it in detail. I don't have the time to go into it here. But if that's helpful, please subscribe to the channel. If you've got questions about this or in fact any other issues in cybersecurity, please drop me a line, comment, and I'll do what I can to help. Thanks a lot.